Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SevTech Ages. Today what I want to do is actually progress to the next age. So to do that, we have our work cut out for us. We're going to have to make a couple of the immersive engineering machines, and then we're also going to have to make a couple machines from the modularity thing as well. So hopefully I have enough resources to get everything up and running, but before we get to any of that, I do want to craft up the ore excavation thing so we can start vein mining with our tools, and I also want to go ahead and upgrade our armor with some steel. So I'm going to make, let's do 3 stacks of modularium if we can. I know I have the iron, I have the redstone, and I don't exactly know if I have the aluminum. I'm gonna guess probably not. So over here is where we have all of our steel. We only need that for right now. All of our iron is over here at the smeltery, so we're good on that. And if we do have any aluminum right now, it's going to be here as well, which, again, I don't really think I have all that much. I got iron, I've got nickel, silver, copper, and tin. Okay. That's not exactly great. We do have a little bit. We have 3. Does that at least allow us to make one of these guys? It should. It should allow us to make one. Okay, I'm going to smelt down those guys. Let's get those guys rolling. We are doing 3 stacks, so give me some iron. Let's get that stuff smelted down as well. And then the aluminum should mix together with this stuff. We should have at least 3 ingots worth of it. Alrighty, well, all of our stuff smelted down, and we got 6 ingots of the stuff, so that's great. And then once that's done, we need 2 plates of steel, and then everything else is going to get turned into the plates for the armor itself. So with our armor, we're going to be gaining a little bit of defense as well as toughness, because currently we have 0, and this is going to give us 5.4. So let's go ahead and put that on all of our gear. And now that we added that steel to our armor, I just realized that we didn't actually use the modifier when I swapped that part out. So that's great. That means we can actually add one more piece. So I'm going to try and do that. We also don't need to go back into the between lands like I thought at the end of last episode. We actually have a lot of this stuff on hand because when I was looting the area around there, we were collecting a bunch of nuggets. So we have 33 of the octane stuff, and we also have 61 of the simmerate. So we don't need to go back in there. We probably don't need more than 3 stacks of this stuff because we produce 25 of them per 1 ingot. So there's only ever going to be 3 tools unless we need something else, and then I can go back in, I guess, if we do need an ingot after all. But let's go ahead and just turn this stuff into the usable ingots, and let's do these ones as well, even though we don't need that much. Let's plop that in there. We've got 1 stack of it, and we could do another one. We just need to smelt down some more steel, it looks like, is the only thing we're lacking. We have the platinum over in the chest, so we can head back over to the little workstation. But before we do that, I need to grab some bones as well so that I'm able to make the trim. Alrighty, well, how is this excavation thing going to work here? So it says that we can plop all 25 on there. Is it actually going to do that, though? It is. Look at that. Okay. So can we then level it up even more? It's locked at 25 right now. We could craft up another one real quick and just see if we can stack 50 on there. Although we don't have another level, so we couldn't put it on there even if we could at the moment. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Let me throw the trims onto our armor and see what exactly happens here. So right now we're on 5.4. We go up to 7.6 on toughness. So that is good. I don't exactly know what toughness does. I'm pretty sure people have told me in the past what it does, but honestly, like, my brain just does not stick that in any usable area. So all of our armor now has that trim on there. That is great. We also didn't move the bar on the right there any, so we didn't gain an extra thingy over there. But our armor looks kind of cool now. It's got like a little tan trim going all the way around, so that's kind of neat. Well, let's see if we are able to level this past 25, and we are currently not. We have already reached the maximum level of excavate. Okay. So at least we now have the excavates set aside for the tools when we do level those up eventually here. But it looks like I do need to go gather up some more aluminum because we are going to have to craft some modularium machines, and we don't have the aluminum to actually make that. So I need to go find some. And now that we have our excavate on this thing, it's going to be so much quicker to harvest a whole ton of it. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and give this a go here. It should harvest the entire aluminum vein here in one go. And it's going. It's going. That's great. Okay. Oh, hit those guys too. Oh, there's a limit to how much you can actually do. Okay. Oh, it's tied to our hunger. Oh, okay. It's been a minute since I messed with a a vein mine that had it tied to hunger, so that's nice to know. But look at that, we cleared this place out a whole lot quicker than if I was just sitting here mining it like normal. So that is really, really nice. Let's get this last little chunk here. There we go. And now, I guess, one of the things we should probably look into getting is some way of automatically feeding ourselves so that we have an infinite range of vein mine. That would be really, really cool, but right now that's not the priority, and I don't think we need to go get more aluminum. We got several stacks of the stuff. We'll go ahead and process this through, see what we got. We do have, what was I doing? 3 stacks, right? I did 3 stacks, and we already had 3 aluminum in there, so we can drop the 3 stacks and then take out 3 of them. So that should all combine with the aluminum or the iron and the redstone to make a bunch of the modularium stuff here as well. Nice, we have 378 ingots of this stuff, so hopefully that's going to be enough to build out the machines from that mod that we need to build today. But before we start messing with that, we do have a couple that we need to make from immersive engineering, so let me go ahead and gather up our steel and start putting those things together as well. Well, unless I've miscounted, we're only going to need 130 steel to get all of the immersive engineering stuff up and running. If we need more than that, we have some backlogged already, so that's not really an issue. Right now, though, I want to go ahead and put together a core sample drill. We need that for the advancement and the ability to find oil, so that's going to be important. All the other stuff we're going to be crafting is just a whole bunch of items from immersive engineering, because the other 3 items that I want to craft are all multi-block structures. So we're going to be crafting up a boiler today, and then we're also going to need the oil processing stuff. Here we go. We need a pump jack as well as a distillation tower. So those are the 3 machines that we want to get up and running today. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get this thing going as well, just so that we can progress to the next thing and start looking for some of the oil here. Well, that was relatively quick to do, so let's get the light engineering blocks put together, and then that should be the last thing we needed for our core sample drills. So there we go. Now with this, we do have to give it power, but we can walk around, place it down in a chunk, and then it'll spit out a little core sample with whatever is inside of that chunk. So right now we don't have a power source, and I'm not going to make that right now. I just want to very quickly throw together all of the other items that we need for the machines, and then once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and throw together a water wheel, I believe is what I'm going to go with here. So give me 2 seconds, let me craft up all this stuff, and then we can start scanning the area around here looking for some oil. Alrighty, well I have all of the immersive engineering machines in our boxes here ready to go. Once we start producing some oil, we can start processing it through immediately. I've also gone through and looked at all the modularium machines that we need to build today, and they're all relatively cheap. I thought it was going to be expensive, but it's really not. It's just a bunch of modularium and a whole lot of iron. That's pretty much it. So we're going to throw those things together as well here, but real quickly, let's go ahead and throw a water wheel together. This is going to complete one of our advancements here, so we're going to do 3 of them, because according to the book here, we are able to just have them connected together up to 3, so we're going to maximize on that as best we can. And there's our advancement. Nice. So we're also going to need this guy, which is just a whole bunch of the wire stuff. So we should have the wire up here, unless I didn't save any. We got a stack of it. Okay. And this might also be another advancement here for us, but it didn't trigger. Oh, it didn't trigger because we need to go with a windmill, and then it would trigger. But okay, that's fine. We are going to actually make the last thing that I wanted to make, which I just completely brain farted on. So we need a little bit of iron, a little bit of redstone, and then that's up and running. And that's going to allow us to start powering our stuff. And then I also need to craft up a set of these guys here so that we can actually connect our stuff together. So we're just about done. I'm going to run around scanning the area for some of the oil, and hopefully we do find some relatively quickly so that I'm able to get everything up and running here. So I went ahead and put together a battery as well as the other little connector parts that we needed, but I'm going to run around and scan the area for oil. So this is going to take a little while, and every time I didn't bring building blocks, did I? I did not. Yeah, I'm going to have to build out the water wheel system every time. Hopefully the 3 of these produce more power than it actually takes to run that thing, so that I'm at least able to potentially charge up the battery a little bit, so maybe we don't have to build it every single time I scan a chunk. Well, anyways, now that I got some building blocks, this is pretty much what it's going to look like every single time we plop this thing down. So on the top of this block here, we have a little connector, and on that, we need to have, I believe, this one. That's going to send power out of it. And then I want to have that going into the battery for right now. So if we can do something like that, maybe that should work. And then if we change this guy out actually to the battery, like so, we might be able to connect to the top of this with a relay. And then from the bottom of this, hopefully, we can connect it as well. So, yep, there we go, cool. So we want the other one on that, because that is going to be powering this. So all we got to do now is connect it. I keep shifting things off of my hotbar. Boom, boom. Cannot attach wire to this. Why not? Oh, you know what I just realized I did? These are actually medium volt connectors. So we needed the low voltage ones because we're using low voltage wires. Is there a way to upgrade these to medium voltage, even though we're not going to be pushing medium voltage through the cables here? We can use Electrum, but that's not something I have in mass production right now. I could produce a bunch of it, but that's going to take a few minutes. And we're not really running machines, I don't think, at the moment that need medium voltage. So I'm going to go back and get some of the actual ones that we need. That was my bad. Alrighty, let's go ahead and give that another go here. So we want that one there, we want this one there, and now it should. I have the cables on my hotbar, dum-dum. Let's go there to there, and then there to there. And hopefully this works. All we got to do is now give this water. So I got a couple buckets here. Let's do this. And there it goes. Cool. That doesn't have a UI. That has 0 out of 100,000. This is also 0 out of 100,000. Oh. We are passing power through this little thing as well, though. So we should have 256. And it's not currently going anywhere. So we might actually need the other thing on that instead of the relay, like I put. So let's plop that there. We should get shocked, and we did. That is a good sign. So this should have power passing through it, which it does. And that power is going into this. So once this hits 8,000, it should drill the thing and then spit out a little sample thing that we can see whether or not if we have oil in this area. Oh, here comes our first sample. Let's see what we got in this. And what do we got? We got lapis, it looks like. Okay. Oh, actually, no, that's not even lapis. That's just water that we drilled into. So this chunk is pretty useless. I am going to scan probably 3 or 4 chunks this way and just start working my way down our little island that we're on right now. And hopefully we have oil somewhere. That would be really nice if we do. If not, then I'll see you wherever I find oil here moving forward. Awesome. So we didn't actually have to go too far to find oil. So I scanned that way a little bit. We went a couple chunks to the side, and then I went forward and started scanning the chunks back. And it turns out the chunk right in front of the one that we started with actually has oil in it. So that is really awesome. I'm going to go gather up all of the extra parts from immersive engineering that we need so that we can build out all the machines right here. And then we're most likely going to scoot the water wheel over a little bit as well. I went ahead and put a little shell around it so that we could have the water on the top as well to make it spin a little bit quicker. And right now that's doing pretty good. So let me gather up that stuff. We're going to be building these multi-blocks real quick, and then we can start processing oil here in 2 seconds. Alrighty, well I have all 3 of the multi-block structures down that we're going to need. So all that's left to do is actually form them. So let's get our pump jack put together. This is our distillation tower. If I can find where I need to click on this thing at, that would be great. There we go. It just formed. And last up here is our boiler. So let's get this to turn into the boiler, please. There we go. Nice. So what I'm going to do is actually power these guys, and hopefully I'm able to pump the oil directly into this thing. This should break the oil down, and then we're going to pump out whatever this is producing, and I'm hoping that it just does it automatically and I don't have to have a pump right here because that's a whole nother thing here, but that's going to pump into there. This is then going to produce the other thing that we need. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I don't want to do that right now because we need to get buckets of this stuff to complete our advancements. So once we get the oil one, then I'll plug it into this. That'll process through for the advancements, and then we'll rinse and repeat until the final thing there. So let's go ahead and power this thing. I made a couple of these guys so we can run our cabling up in the air instead of down low so we don't keep walking into it. And at the moment, I think there's a range on how far the power cables can reach. So hopefully this works and we can plug everything in, but let's do that for right now. And there's our pump jack in motion, although very, very slow because I don't think we're producing enough power for this thing to run smoothly, but For right now, that's the only thing we're going to plug in because we're not really producing that much. I do, however, want to check out this really quickly. That doesn't look right. You know what? Sure. Let's just see if this even gets any power. If it does, then cool. If not, then we'll move it. Although this doesn't look like it needs power at all. It just looks like it needs liquids. Okay. If that's the case, that's great. If not, then I'll figure out where I need to plug into this thing here shortly, but right now, we want this thing to be producing oil, so that's going to take a few minutes because it's very slow at the moment, but that should be fine. I'm kind of half tempted to put together the medium voltage stuff, honestly, because it's just a little bit of cabling is all we need. We have the connectors already made on accident. Well, changing out the cables really didn't make a difference for our pump jack here. It's still running really slow, and that's pretty much because of our water wheel. It doesn't really produce that much power. I figured with 3 of them, it would be producing more than it is, but that doesn't really seem to be the case here. So right now, it's going to take a little while. I also had to connect our piping into our tower because this doesn't have a storage for the oil. So I was just kind of wasting time letting this thing run here. But over on the inside of here, we have 3 buckets worth. Am I able to load this guy up? That would be awesome. It doesn't look like I can. That's not really good. I need a bucket of this so that I can get my advancement done. Dang it. Alrighty, well, I think I found a solution to our problem here. So we need one of those. That goes into that, and then we can make this into a barrel, and we should, hopefully, be able to pump the liquid into it. So let me just very quickly do that so we don't have that going into the tank. We want that there, and we want that there, and that is not going in. Okay, 1 second. We might be able to do one of these, and then click on this guy. There we go. It went up to 15 and then stopped. And it's going again. Okay, cool. So we just got to wait until that has 1,000 in it. And then we can break it because this is actually something we need for the modularium machines as well today. So it wasn't a complete waste of iron to build that thing, which honestly, the iron's really not that much of an issue. So that's going to be nice. And we just hit 1,000. So this is going to complete our advancement. There we go. Awesome. Let's also take that off for 2 seconds. I want to actually set this to drain so we don't have anything in there. There we go. We can plug this back into the system and then let it just start filling up this thing now. So that's empty. Great. Give me that back. Thank you. Now we want to plug this thing in with our power as well so that we start producing the stuff that we need from this. So let's just empty that out. Where's our power cable? Boop and a boop. That's going to make this thing even slower because we don't have the power. Oh my goodness. What did I just get shocked by? There's nothing even that low. Why did I get shocked? Okay, weird. Anyways, this is going to start slowly but surely processing into, what is we looking for? We're looking for petroleum, or no, we're looking for diesel and whatever that other word is. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for 2 things. So in a second, we will have one of them. I don't know how exactly we get the second one because there's only one output here. Oh, there we go. We have both of them in there, and we also have a bucket of both already. So let's do that. There is our word that I can't pronounce, and then let's get our diesel. Come on. Give me the diesel. We put it in there? No. We put it over there? No. Well, you know what? I can't seem to get the diesel out, so let's just plop it in here and see if that processes through. And we need some other stuff in here, it looks like. You know what? I'm going to actually look at the book and see what it wants in this thing because it's supposed... I could have sworn it said it wanted the diesel, not that stuff. Well, I remembered something at least because it does indeed want diesel. So if we go to this guy, which is what we built, it wants us to feed it diesel and water and it will produce steam. That is what we're looking to get our hands on next. So right now, I don't exactly know how we get this back out now that I did that. Other than breaking this machine, I suppose, is one way of getting this all back out, which it looks like that's the only way right now. Unless there is a way to actually get the stuff from it, we needed to break it there. So let's do that. Let's rebuild this. All right, well, we should have this thing running in just a second. We are going to craft up one of these guys. It's a fluid router, which hopefully we're able to only pull the diesel, or at least push the diesel into the thing that we want. I'm also going to grab our fluid hopper that I have over there right now. Instead of having to build out a pump and trying to get the water up to the machine, we're just going to go ahead and build out the little infinite water thing that I know of, and then eventually, it's not going to be the fastest thing, but it is going to fill up the tank there that we need. Alrighty, well, hopefully this works relatively straightforward here. So we want a green one. There's that. We want that pushing the diesel is what we want. Can I just pull it from here? That would be so nice if I can. I don't see diesel in those ones. Is diesel here? Biodiesel. That's not what we're making. Here we go. Diesel buckets. And so that should be down here. There we go. So we want diesel going out. Hopefully. We want the other stuff probably going into the red one. So let me find that. Oh, this stuff's not even part of immersive engineering. So we're going to have it coming out of the red one. Hopefully that's doing what it should be doing, although it's not moving the numbers, so that's not really reassuring. If we plug this in, is it only going to pull diesel? It is not. It's not going to do anything. I would like you to do the thing here, please. Alrighty, well, I think I finally figured out what's going on here, why it's not taking the diesel. So on the booklet, it tells us that the water can go in via the hatches on the left, and then the diesel can go into the machine on the right. So there's only two hatches, right? The one that we're pumping into right now, the one on the bottom, and then we also have a third one on top, but that is an output. So I'm hoping that this is the hatch that it's talking about on the right, because I think this is the front of the machine. So if this also doesn't work, then I'm honestly out of ideas here. But we're going to go ahead and plug this side in. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I'm going to just start plugging in pipes everywhere I can think of. Alrighty, there we go. We have the diesel pumping into there, so that's awesome. This thing is now empty. So that means this backside is where the water needs to go. So to do that, can I drop it down right here? No. Or I guess I could. So if we do this, like so, that's going to have connections to that stuff, which I don't really want it to do. Let me fix that real quick, because the bottom one's also going to be connected to it. So one of those should do the trick. If I could click on the thing. I can't seem to click on it. Why can't I click on it? There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's going to hold us over. And then if we can do this... Oh, that's the wrong way. I need this facing downward. All right, well, anyways, now that we have that in place, all we got to do is place down a single bucket of water, and over time here, that little block that we placed down, which is a well block from the one of the early mods in this pack, we'll just collect the water, fill up the hopper, and fill up our machine here. And then this should begin producing stuff for us, although I don't see any water going into the machine. And it looks like we do have water going into this. So are we actually... Yeah, we have diesel in there. Uh-oh, that's why it's not working. How do we fix that? Okay, there we go. We got it to work. We had to just get some of the diesel in here to get burned off a little bit. But now that's going to start processing through. I want to go ahead and lock that as well so we don't accidentally fill it up with diesel again or anything else. So where did my pipe go? There we go. Okay, we want to plug this back into that. Disable this. This still has water in it. It does indeed. This is producing steam, so now we can plop one of these in there. That's going to complete yet another advancement for us. And let's see, what do we have left to do? The other two, or the other three that we have left, are all from the modularium stuff. So we are going to need the steam and whatever else this is going to process, but now that everything is connected, over time here, it should, hopefully, start producing stuff. We're not going to have a backlog of steam building up because we're only going to have the internal buffer here, but we're just going to let this thing run because, again, we don't really need that stuff right away here. So let me go grab my modularium stuff. I have a little bit more of the alloys and stuff to put together. I need some more of the redstone alloy, and I think that's pretty much it. We have the cabling, we have all the other stuff. I need to throw together the blueprints really quick and then put all of these little multi-block structures together as well. And hopefully, right, we can use the power from that thing. If we can, that saves me a little bit of time. If we can't, then I need to figure out how to power these guys as well then. So I went ahead and crafted up the blueprints real quick for these machines, and now we can just craft up the rest of the machine parts here. So we need 60 of the machine casings, so let's get those going. And then with those, we can craft up these guys. Actually, I don't have my wires on me, which we should. There we go. So we only need 3 of these guys. And that's 3 of them. Good. That's an advancement. We can take that off and take that off. Let's take this. And we are going to need a few of those. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's go with this guy, because we can craft that up real quick. We are also going to need 3 of those guys. Yep, I have it written down, so I just wanted to double check that real quick. And there's those. Now for these guys, we just need the barrels and hoppers. So let me craft those up real quick. We have a whole bunch of buckets laying around as well, so that's not really an issue. Alrighty, well, here's the last of the machines here. So we needed 4 of the input hatches for fluid, and then 3 of the output hatches for the fluid as well. And that is all of the parts we need for these machines. Okay, so for right now, hopefully we are able to power it with this stuff. So what we need down first is the chemical mixer. So we need the last one here, and that looks like this. So let me just go ahead and place down all of these multi-block structures again, and hopefully we can bucket things out. If we can't and I have to pipe things, then I need to go craft some more pipes, but hopefully that's not the case. Alrighty, well, we got our chemical mixer up and running here, and I think all we got to do is shift-click the blueprint in there. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we put that in there before we actually finish building it, so it gives us a hologram. I'm not sure, but it's up and running. So let's go ahead and plug it into the power real quick and just see if this is actually going to work. That's not the one we need. We need those. So the power is on the back side here. Do that. Let's also move this thing a little closer so we can actually pull a power cable over to it. Well, it looks like we can power this thing with the immersive engineering power, so that's good. And what did it want in this thing? It wanted the steam put through, right? It wanted the steam and the other stuff that I can't pronounce. Okay, so let's put that there. And then if we run over here and grab a bucket of this, put it into that one, that should produce something. That's empty. That's empty. This one's still empty. This one's still empty. You're supposed to make there we go. It made a molten propane. So we take this, and then we have to put it through one of the other machines that we need to craft real quick. So let me get the other 2 of these multi-blocks put together, and then we can finish off this age. Okay, well, I'm kind of hoping this is not forming because we don't have that advancement just yet, because it's built exactly how the blueprint wants it to be built, but it's not actually forming into the machine. So let's see if by doing this and having this thing form or create the next thing, that then allows us to form this machine, because without that, we can't actually produce the plastic that we need. All right, well, there's our plastic, and this still didn't snap into reality here. That's not good. Let me break it again, now that we have the advancement at least, and maybe that snaps it into actually working here. Oh, I just realized my mistake here. So I made a fluid output instead of an item output. We're outputting the plastic sheets. We're not outputting the plastic liquid. So that was my mistake. We need to craft up this guy real quick, and then we should be able to form this machine. So my bad. Alrighty, well, there is our item output. So that's good. Let's plop that in there. I don't really know if we need to do that, but I'm going to keep doing it. And let's drop our plastic in there. Now that's going to process through, and once it's done, we are going to complete this age. And there we go. Let's take our plastic and progress to the next one here. We are now in age 4. So let's see what some of the advancements are going to be for that. We've got cooking with blockheads. That's nice. We also have access to cobalt and ardite now, so I can finally upgrade our armor. That's going to be nice. It also looks like we're going to be heading on into the end on this age, and rocketry as well. So we're going to go to the moon. Look at that. That is awesome. Okay. Oh no, it's got this mod in it. I hate this mod. Oh man. Okay. Anyways, though, that is where we're going to be wrapping up today's episode. In between episodes, I'm going to run some piping from the immersive stuff over to these guys to hopefully automate them a little bit, so that way we start building up some plastic, because I have a feeling that's going to be pretty important for next age. Anyways, though, that's where we're going to be wrapping up, so I hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.